Nature-loving viewers, welcome to Good People, Good Works. Today's show features the Woodland Trust, a non-profit UK organisation dedicated to protecting Britain's ancient woodlands, restoring forest biodiversity and informing the British public about the importance and value of their nation's forests. In the UK, the term ancient woodlands refers to wooded areas that have existed since at least 1600. However, since the 1930s, 50% of such forests have been felled or otherwise negatively impacted by development and other human activities. In addition, half of Britain's remaining woods are 5 hectares or less. In 1972, retired farm machinery manufacturer and environmentalist Ken Watkins of Bromley, Kent, England, realised that his country's majestic trees were fast disappearing, and thus saw the need to conserve what he felt were national treasures. Jerry Langford, director of the Trust, tells us more about this remarkable man.
Ken Watkins had this great passion for woodlands. In the early 1970s, a lot of small woodlands in this country were just being destroyed. They were being sort of cleared and the land converted to farming because there was no protection on woodlands then. He was very concerned about this, so he got together with really just some friends of his and said, well, I'm going to set up a charity to protect woodlands. And he just went out and bought a woodland in the southwest of England and started doing this regularly. And so very quickly he turned it into a UK-wide organisation, and for the first 10 years or so the Woodland Trust just bought woodlands.
With the help of more than 160,000 members and over 200,000 supporters from around the country, the Trust has planted 8 million native trees in the UK to date. The Woodland Trust also cares for more than 1,000 British woodlands covering 20,000 hectares.
We have over 1,000 woods across the whole of the UK, all of which pretty well are open for people to visit, and very many of them are hugely appreciated by local communities. People visit them every day. But you know, it's not just about protecting woodlands, but by owning them and by planting them. We're passionate about the value of trees in woodlands.
The Trust also addresses the most critical issue of our day, climate change, by providing valuable information to the public, such as online carbon-saving tips, publishing a climate change blog, and supporting the UK-based Stop Climate Chaos Coalition.
We've sort of widened out what we do. We now spend a lot of time working with other people and doing sort of policy work, but also involving the public and, you know, making sure woodlands are there for people to enjoy and to walk in, and there's something there to interest children and get them to go out in the outdoors and enjoy, you know, the trees and woodlands in the countryside.
In 2004, the Trust began the Tree for All campaign, which introduces British children to the joys of planting trees. The ultimate goal is to involve 2 million youngsters in planting 12 million native trees. Thus far, over 6.5 million trees have been planted.
Over the past 5 years, we've actually given over 1 million children the chance to plant trees, in some cases on our own sites. In other cases, we've posted saplings out to schools for the children to plant. We're very involved as well in persuading other landowners, other organisations to create more native woodland. We have an aspiration actually of seeing twice as much native woodland in the UK than we have now. And we're working hard with landowners to try and persuade them to plant more and to get more people to recognise the value of woods and trees.
The UK's remaining ancient woodlands now cover less than 2% of the country, and the nature of over a quarter of these forests has been changed due to the planting of non-native conifers by timber companies, resulting in a serious threat to local ecosystems.
There's two things that we feel that are particularly important and where we have particularly a role, and so there's something where we can make a real difference. And one is to actually increase the amount of native woodland in this country. We have this aspiration to double that by 2050, which is actually quite a modest aspiration, and you see it in those terms. But obviously the 2% that remains is very important, and not all of that is in particularly good condition. So the other thing we think is really important is to protect and restore what remains of that ancient woodland heritage, particularly where it's been extensively damaged by a process of previous attempts to convert these woodlands into commercial forestry plantations.
When we return, we'll learn more about the esteemed Woodland Trust and its high-minded work. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television.